I just finished the beginner Korean course on Speak. I've been studying for almost 2 hours, just an hour and 40 today on Speak as proof right there. And I wanted to just give a review as a native English speaker who is learning a non-English language, on Speak and what my experience has been on there. So for this little review, I'm gonna go over pacing, structure, who this app is really for, and then some areas of improvement. So starting with pacing, I think this app is excellently paced for somebody who is like picking up a new language for the first time. Like I didn't know any Korean prior to this other than 안녕하세요, 감사합니다. That was the only two things I really knew. So it breaks down like the lessons into really manageable chunks to where if you just take 5 minutes even like throughout your day to just do a quick speaking drill or lesson or something, you end up building up a lot of times that you speak in the other language out loud throughout the day, and you just get kind of comfortable with your mouth, forming those sounds that you're not normally used to in a different language. So I really appreciated the pacing about it. It was very fast. Like if I'm just have like some downtime really quick, I would just do a couple drills or do a video lesson. Or if I set aside maybe like 15-20 minutes, I would do like an entire like lesson or maybe even two. So really well paced. So in terms of the structure, I really like how they have it. They generally start with a video lesson with like a human-led instructor for the beginner level. I think Audrey was a great instructor. She broke down the lesson and then gave a bunch of example sentences that you would use the expression in. And then the lessons take probably like 3 minutes max. Maybe some of them were like 5 minutes with the user, like speaking the words or the expressions that they teach. But nothing crazy, very manageable. And then you get into the speaking drill. So this is basically you are just spamming whatever expressions they taught you and like little variations of them. So you just get comfortable saying it. And hopefully, build your confidence. Then not on all of them, but like maybe like 70% of the lessons, they have like a vocab builder. So they'll expand like some words that you can switch and use with the same expression. So it kind of gives you more like building blocks for your expressions, which I really enjoyed. They weren't very overwhelming. One thing I really liked about Speak for the beginner Korean course is like they focused on giving you an expression and they used a lot of loaner words. So like for like coffee, it was just copy. So they used loaner words where they could so that your brain is focused on the expression rather than, oh, what's the word for this again, not to say they like completely only used loaner words, but they used it where appropriate so that you could focus your attention on like the grammar and like the structure of the sentence overall instead of just that one word that you're trying to memorize. Um, so that was cool. But they also, do teach you vocab here and there. And then you end the lesson with the tutor Q&A. So this is when you use when they present you with like a chat interface. So they're gonna like show you, okay, this is what your goals are for this conversation, and then hold on. So it's like a dialogue where they'll say something to you, and then they have like options to like translate it and hide it and whatnot, and then you have to respond appropriately, and it'll tell you, if that was an appropriate response or not, and give you suggestions if your like pronunciation was off or something was weird with your grammar. So I think this is definitely like the meat of their app was this AI stuff. Who this is for? I think this is great for people who have no exposure to Korean and like have a trip coming up within the next like month or even a couple of weeks if you really just hammer through all of these lessons. This course is like perfect if you're like, oh, I want to be able to at least navigate or order some food or do some basic things like introduce myself, ask basic questions for a trip. Like you're not going to be having in-depth conversations with people after this course, but I mean, it's not intended for that. It's intended to just help you survive your first trip to Korea, basically, which is, that applies to me. I fortunately have couple more months before I go to Korea, so I'm gonna try to get through the A2 course and the B1 course. I forget what it was called. Let me look. Yeah, the B1 course. I want to get through all of these because I want to actually be able to conversate. So that's what I'm hoping to get. But I mean, if you're just going to Korea and you speak English, you don't know any Korean, you just want to learn some phrases and stuff, I think this is more than enough. Okay, some areas for improvement. I don't have a lot because I really like the interface that they present. But one I do have is that I wish each lesson started with like a quick review of the previous uh, day's materials, like the previous lesson's materials. Another other apps I've used, they usually do that, and I feel like that has helped me personally retain the material better. Other than like instead of just moving directly onto the next set of materials or topic or whatever. It would have been nice if it had like a little quick review section or something before you get to the new material. Another area of improvement, was like, by the end of this course, I am very much still not able to have like a full conversation. Um, like I feel like it prepares you to, know some expressions to do things with a lot of context. So like ordering food, like you can point to stuff and basic vocabulary, but if they say anything back to me that is outside of like the little script that I have, that I was trained on, I'm gonna not really know what they're saying, and I'm not gonna be able to really um, elaborate on what I said. It's like I can only say a few words at a time, and that's the best I'm gonna do. I mean, I don't. I feel like for a beginner level Korean course, I think that's okay. Um, I would have appreciated a little bit more grammar in there, like knowing a few more verbs, and just a little bit more vocabulary would have been nice. But again, that's just me being nitpicky. I think this course is definitely more of a prerequisite course for the Speak Korean Naturally one, which is the A1 level. I feel like I just started that one. I'm only like two lessons in, but I already noticed right away like the pacing is a lot faster, in a good way, and they're expecting you to memorize things faster. Like when they introduce an expression, they'll say it maybe once or twice, and then they'll just have me like they'll give me the English phrase and then just expect me to know how to say it already, which I kind of like. It's like, a step up. You're not getting babied as much. So yeah, that's my little quick review on the beginner level Korean course. I'm really excited to see how this plays out when I actually go to Korea. Um, but yeah, good job, Speak. I think I'm very happy with my subscription so far.